We did it. We are doing it. We are doing it big. Hey, hi. Hello. How is everyone tonight? I am here with my new camera.
You are.
Melissa, you can see me. Finally.
It's been so long since I've seen you this big.
Yeah.
Because we had a game night earlier this week and you had your camera on for that, but we're playing with several people, so you're just like little.
Super tiny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. The camera that Melissa now sees me with, that used to be what was the one that the people on stream could see. But now I have a new big old fancy Sony A7 III, and my stream should look a lot nicer, look a lot better.
Oof,
So
now
I'm excited.
I have to step my game up now too. If you level up, I have to level up.
You're good where you are.
Okay.
This is technically overkill, and I'm not gonna make you spend thousands of dollars to do all of this stuff. No way, no how. You're good. You're good. But hi, Melissa.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay. I tried to recharge some of my mall energy today.
Good
Didn't
old
quite
mall.
work.
Mall stuff. Mall
Yeah.
stuff is good. It did not work though.
So here's the deal. Tomorrow's my roommate's birthday. She's got a Sephora birthday gift thing that she wanted to go in and redeem today. She's like, do you want to go to the mall with me? I didn't really want to go to the mall, but like...
Do you want to go to the mall with me? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah?
Yeah, precisely like that is how she asked me. Like, I didn't really want to go. I'm still pretty skittish about it, but like we keep missing each other. Because of her work hours, she comes home after I'm already in bed. I'm like, I'll go with you just to like spend the time in the car with you because we haven't talked like all week. And then I decided, you know, I don't want to go into the mall, but I do need a pretzel. I need me an Auntie Anne's pretzel. This mall's got an Auntie Anne's like right by one of the doors. I don't have to go in that far. I can drive with her. She can go to the Sephora. And then I'll just go inside, get my pretzel, and then huddle in the car eating a pretzel until she comes back.
What's your ideal pretzel? You like the big ones with the like big chunky salt pieces and like mustard to eat with that, or like what?
I was hoping for a pretzel dog.
Pretzel dog, okay.
Which isn't
hot dog with a pretzel
if
style
I want a
bun.
savory pretzel, that's the one I go for. But they were all out, so instead I went with my favorite sweet option, which is the almond pretzel. I believe an Auntie Anne's specific one. I don't think a Wetzel's is going to have an almond pretzel, but they're very good.
Gotcha.
But yeah, this was our plan, and my roommate gets up, and she's like, I've got dinner plans with my aunt later today, so I'm going to do all my makeup now, and then we're going to go to the mall, and then we don't have to worry about me needing to come home in time for me to get ready to go out for these dinner plans. I'm like, okay, so that won't take that long. So I'm just sitting there, just kind of fiddling around the house.
Sure.
It's like I'll do one chore, I'll watch a YouTube video, I'll click on something on my phone, I'll watch another YouTube video. I'm sitting there for an hour accomplishing nothing because I keep telling myself, no, I'm sure she's almost ready. She's almost ready. We have to go at some point. She's almost ready. And then she comes out and she says, my aunt was wrong about the dinner reservation. It's earlier than she thought. Now I can't go to the mall.
Oh, no.
So like, okay. So I just sat here doing nothing for an hour, expecting repeatedly, like, no, I don't want to start something and like get in the middle of it and have to stop before I leave. So I was purposefully engaged in meaningless activity that stretched into a long enough block of time where it's like, now I feel like I'm living in a nightmare. You know, those nightmares where you have somewhere to go and it's like, yeah, I'll go get my shoes. And then you get your shoes and somehow it takes 8 hours and it's like you missed whatever event you were supposed to go to. You have that time to spare. Like this happened to me just because I spent an hour watching like dumb cooking videos on YouTube or something, waiting for my roommate to put on eyeshadow.
Those must be some complicated shoes. You like go to put on your chose, and then yeah, it just 8 hours. Wow. Okay.
You know, in dream logic, it's like you have to walk back to your room and like get in your closet, and they're not where you think they are in your closet, and you're moving through water. Do you not have this nightmare repeatedly?
No. I normally don't. I typically don't remember my dreams. So, I don't know. We got Sam in the chat here. So, hello, Sam. Thank you for the heads up on the double Melissa sound.
Oh, no. Oof.
This time, twice as much Melissa.
This story isn't even interesting enough to be heard twice. It's pretty boring. Basically, I waited around for a frustrating amount of time, and then my roommate's like, I can't go with you. And then I'm like, well, I already got my heart set on that pretzel, so I guess I'm just going to go get a pretzel by myself. And I got the pretzel. And then I'm waiting in line, and my roommate texts me to say, like, her aunt moved the reservations. Now she can go to the mall anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Sam, did that fix things? Did I fix things? Because I'm still kind of experimenting with some new setup stuff on my computer here now that I have my new camera and all that stuff. So hopefully Melissa is now no longer doubled. Sam says yes. Good. Okay. Pretzels.
Yeah.
I am not a pretzel fan. But I think if I had to get one, if I had to do what you did, I would have gone with like a sugary cinnamon thing, if that makes sense.
No, they're good. That's a classic pretzel. I got it a lot, I think, before I found that Auntie Anne's has the sweet, crunchy almond one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Melissa, we're going to do some live testing here.
Okay.
Real fast. I'm going to switch over to my view. And that has, okay, that's good. Okay, I can see that. If I go to
thrilling
Melissa's
opening for all of the audio listeners. They get to hear me tell like a really dull, frustrating story.
Right, it's great.
And then we run some tech tests.
Yeah, so what I need to do is copy this thing and then switch over to Melissa and paste it in. There we go. And then we have that one and that one. I don't need that one anymore, and I don't need that anymore. Okay, I think we're good. Fixing things on the fly. There we go. Let's go back to the wide. There we go. Cool, good. Okay, we can continue. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We also have Jack in the chat.
Oh, good. Hello to you both.
Welcome to everyone out there on Twitch land or podcast land. Welcome to the Captain's Log. This is number 113. We're getting up there.
Yeah.
I'm excited, yeah. So Melissa. You wrote something down that we didn't get to last time about pop figurines.
Yes.
There has to be a story behind this.
Last week or the week before, I was talking about how I'm trying to find good examples of nerdy but classy adult-looking home decorating where it doesn't look like a dorm room, but it also doesn't look like, yeah, you're a successful adult, but you're also a boring successful adult with no hobbies or interests.
Okay.
You know, I want to look like a professional, mature, classy nerd.
Sure. That makes sense.
And when you go looking for nerdy home decor, it's all pop figurines. This is most of what I found on Pinterest. Walls, especially because I was looking at like ways to mix media on bookshelves. Like, what are good display ideas for, like, you've got little action figures and knickknacks, you have books, you have movies, maybe you have a little plant. Like, what are just good shelf layouts? God, pops all over the place. It's like people haven't heard of non-pop variety action figures.
It's the like cheap version that you can display. Like, it is a toy, but it's also a collectible, right? That you can just be like, look, I'm a fan of Firefly. Here's all my Firefly pops, and they have them for everything.
They do, which I respect how obscure they can get.
Yeah.
I admire that. I've only got 2 little ones myself. I should have got them down, but they're just like these little mini ones. And one's Maleficent and one's the evil queen from Snow White. And I won them as prizes in a trivia competition. So I didn't even buy them. So I've got those 2. I'm cool with those 2. I might buy some pop figurines if it was for a very specific thing I liked, but I'm not into the blank faces and the giant eyes.
Big head.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me.
I have yet to have my Funko popped, so I just I don't mind having action figures and stuff. And as you guys can kind of see, it's all blurry now, but I have my Street Sharks and my Power Rangers and stuff like that. But I haven't bought a new action figure in more than a decade.
I feel like I should buy more just because I've found that when I go to conventions, I would buy so many prints. And I've got all this stuff on my walls, and whenever I want to fill space on a bookshelf, I don't have anything. I just don't tend to buy many physical knickknacks. And decor wise, that is an element that is missing. I need that ingredient in a space.
Yeah. I think they're so popular also because they're so cheap. Just on the right day, you can find one for $10.
Yeah.
$7 if it's it's we have millions of these.
Yeah, if you want to keep them in box, the boxes are just little cubes. They're easy to stack, easy to organize. And so I'm seeing a couple shelves that I kind of like ones where it's focused to one specific fandom. I've got all the Lord of the Rings characters, but I've got them mixed among copies of the books, little collectible statuettes that are a little bit fancier, prop jewelry, a cute plant that looks like it's from Middle Earth, stuff like that I could get on with. But the ones where it's here's my entire wall of everything in my collection, you've gone too far. This is in haunted doll territory. And I started to think, what is the line where it's oh, you got some pops, okay, to oh, now I'm unnerved. And I think the rule is you can't have more than 5 of them in a row.
Ooh,
if you get a row of 6 or more.
Most I feel like most people have more than 5 of them in a row. They'll have a whole bookshelf.
If you have a bunch, you can break them up. If you've got a couple, if you have 2 or 3 on various shelves, that makes it feel better. And I looked at so many different configurations. I really ran a personal emotional test on this to try and figure it out. If you have 6 or more standing right in a row, then it starts to look like this is an army and not just a congregation.
I've seen where some people just have bookshelves of them full in 2 or 3 rows, all of the shelves just filled with them, and I'm just look, I'm glad you have a hobby.
Yeah.
But your hobby doesn't do anything.
How many
just
points
sit
of
there and you look at
articulation
them.
do these have? Can you put a hat on them?
I don't know if you can accessorize them, because again, I don't have pop figures. I don't know. But it's funny that you mentioned this, because this actually really reminds me of an episode of Seinfeld.
Oh, okay. I was trying to guess. What is this? Community? Which sitcom will you name?
They're
Spin the wheel.
One of the two that I've seen. But no, there's a episode of Seinfeld where George is dating this girl. I think it's the one that he ends up marrying, and the one that dies licking all of the envelope stamps.
Yes.
She has a giant doll collection. Just has a whole bunch of them.
Oh, you told me about this. Yes.
Yeah. And they're at her apartment, and they're starting to make out and get it on. And then he looks up, and there's a doll that looks exactly like his mom. And just this George, what are you doing? You shouldn't be doing that. And it's great, and that's all that I think of now when there's like a wall of Funko Pops.
Yeah, I'd like if somebody made a pop that looked like me or my immediate friends or family, then I'd be real into it. I'd have a line of more than 5 if they were the Wilkinsons.
One day when we're famous, we'll have Whatnauts pops.
Yeah, not just us, but also the Whatnauts NPCs. So it's like
Right,
our
yeah.
parents, your roommates' dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Melissa,
Uh-huh.
when was the last time you went to Chuck E. Cheese?
Middle school, I think. We
man.
took my nephew because he would have been like 4 or 5 at that time. And I had a friend go with me because she wanted to ironically go to a Chuck E. Cheese. And I think we had a pretty good, only slightly ironic time.
Okay. So, Chuck E. Cheese went bankrupt. They declared bankruptcy a few months ago because of the pandemic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I guess just today or this week, they announced they're trying to dip into more toys as well as animated and live action TV series and movies. I don't think I've been to a Chuck E. Cheese since I was in elementary school.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I would ever watch a live action Chuck E. Cheese movie.
I absolutely would. Because Chuck E. Cheese, it's not just a mascot. He has like this other cast of supporting friends.
Right,
Like
yeah.
there's enough of an illusion of a mythology there that it intrigues me to see what the heck they would try and make out of that.
So they apparently like stopped the whole animatronic band thing that they used to do. I guess that was a year or 2 ago that they stopped doing that.
Some Chuck E. Cheese's started phasing into having a screen where there's a CGI Chuck there to talk to you, and some of his friends would be there.
Gotcha. Sam says that she saw an advertisement for a Chuck E. Cheese where kids had masks on. How horrifying is that? Where you have like these giant animatronic things, monstrosities in there that barely work. You have these like overly happy animated cartoon animals, and then kids in masks.
Do you not find animatronics comforting?
No, they're terrifying.
I love an animatronic. It's so exciting to see an animatronic out in the wild. Did I tell you that I went to like a local park and at the visitors center they had this like this alcove that had an animatronic Smokey the Bear in it, and you'd hit the button and he'd like come to life and like light up and he'd start telling you about not leaving a match in the woods.
Oh God.
It was great. Like our whole family was gathered around. My niece loved it. She wanted to press the button. She's like, now Melissa presses the button. Now Grandma presses the button. So we watched it 3 times.
I can appreciate the like cheesiness and the like kitschiness of it, but when you get down to it, they're creepy. They are so creepy. And yeah, so now I just like I'm imagining this like live action Chuck E. Cheese movie in the style of these new Disney movies with all the animals.
What, like Lady and the Tramp?
Right? Yeah. Or the Lion King or the Jungle Book that they did.
Photorealistic
Chuck E.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Right. What would his story be? What do you imagine plot of a Chuck E. Cheese movie would be? Do you think it would be like The Muppet movie from a couple years ago where they have
What
to get
was-
the band back together? Should it be a biopic? Should it be like the Rocket Man of Chuck E. Cheese?
I feel like it would be closer to a biopic.
I would love that.
So it'd be, yeah, because it would be like his story of like how he like moved out to Hollywood and was like, I'm gonna be a star, baby, and
Yeah.
and then he's like, it'd be horrifying. It'd be great. It'd be horrifying.
So here's the deal. I'm trying to look up Chuck E. Cheese characters because I don't know all of them explicitly clearly. Okay, Chuck E. Cheese, Helen Henny, she's a bird. Pasquale,
Helen
he appears to just be
Henny.
a man.
She sounds like she'd be an alcoholic.
She's just Helen. Jasper T. Jowls, he's a dog. And Munch, who is a purple.
Who is a purple?
He's like a Grimace.
That's what I was gonna say.
He's in the Grimace family, but he is furry instead of smooth. So that's the
He's
approximate
like his less
gang. You have
famous
a mouse,
cousin.
a bird, a dog, a man, and a purple.
An Italian man.
There's no other mice. I would love to get to meet Chuck's family. Like, is entertainment his parentally given middle name? Who are, like, does he have a brother
do
named
each of the mice serve a specific role based on their middle name?
Yeah, like this is my brother Bradley Business Cheese, and like he does all my bookkeeping.
Bradley Business Cheese, yes. And then one day he's arrested for tax fraud and
Yeah. Instead of
great.
Brad B. Cheese, they're like Brad was cheese. He's not in our lives anymore.
he don't be cheese anymore. Man.
I feel like they need to bring in Jeffrey into this mythology.
They just need to have like an Avengers of like animated characters that are past their prime.
Right. So you got Chuck E. Cheese, you got Jeffrey the giraffe, the Noid. Maybe the Noid's like the Scrappy-Doo villain of the entire thing.
Yeah. 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 That could work. That could work. Man. Because, like, so in this article, they quote the CEO as...
Sorry, I cracked it. I realized what the Chuck E. Cheese movie needs to be.
Okay.
It's just the musical Cabaret, but instead the MC is Chuck E. Cheese. Otherwise, word for word the same.
I have no idea what the content of Cabaret is.
It's about a cabaret. It's a cabaret.
That doesn't help me.
Chuck E. Cheese is in it. Yeah, and like Helen Henny can be the Sally Bowles role.
I am totally lost.
I'm telling you, Kyle, this is gold to someone.
So they quoted the CEO in this article that I put in our show note document thing here. The CEO said something along the lines of like, among our target demographic, children like 3 to 8 years old, Chuck E. Cheese is one of the most famous characters. And I kind of made that face too. I was just like,
I guess it depends on if you have access to a Chuck E. Cheese. If you are that age and you have been to a Chuck E. Cheese once, I bet you really want to get back there. But
I don't think you want to do it because of Chucky himself.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I don't remember developing any kind of personal rapport with him.
Right? It's like, oh, Charles, mind if I call you Chuck?
Charles! I'm gonna
Charles,
call
long time no see. Charles,
I call it
yes.
Old Sports Pizza and Entertainment Center because we're real close friends, Chuck and I.
Yeah.
Old Sport, how's the pepperoni today?
That's great.
Chuck E.
Yeah,
Cheese was the best man at my wedding.
I don't know. Charles is giving the speech.
And I brought the whole band to come along. Get out your tambourine, Helen. We're here to celebrate the love.
And instead, they just whale out a screen, and it's all a CGI.
Right, I would... How much money and extension cords would it take to have an animatronic at my wedding?
So the new trend is these like virtual YouTubers. Have you looked at these? Where
like
they're not real people, but they're these like these AI that can just like make this content and stuff. I think that's how it works. But they have stuff that is also like filters too. So the camera would be on me and it would like track my facial features, but then put something on top of it so it looks like something else. If that makes sense. Like they have that stuff too. So I wonder if they would go that route one day.
What, like hire a vlogger and then put a Chuck E. Cheese filter over him?
No, just complete artificial intelligence.
Oh. AI Chuck. He'll be the first. He'll be like our Terminator.
Right? And then he'll recognize everyone. You'll walk in and be like, "Oh, Charles." He'll be like, "Oh, Jim, I remember you. There you are."
Man. I would love to go. Okay, I want to be around any animatronic to begin with. But I would love to be around an animatronic that knew my name.
Man.
E.T. theoretically can know your name if you get on the E.T. ride, but the technology doesn't always work so well. No, like if you go on his little adventure with him afterwards, while you're flying away on your bike, he'll say, "Thank you for your help, Kyle."
It's like, but my name is Sam. Just like,
and I think he's got like a pre-recorded like bank of names. So like,
it's like the miniature license plates. Hopefully he has your name.
Thank you for your help, Bort.
So, man, Chuck E. Cheese, I don't expect that to do too well. They were hoping to get into toys first, but oh well.
I wouldn't say no to a toy. I'd put one in like my kitchen cabinet.
And here we have the new Funko Pops of Chuck E. Cheese, right next to Jungle Action Chuck E. Cheese.
Arctic espionage Chuck E. Cheese.
Right? Yeah. Good stuff. Speaking of toys and a huge toy empire, did you see this Gundam thing? This giant Gundam?
I saw that what you wrote in our notes document was, "It's a Gundam," which sounds like your future child announcement.
Don't give me ideas.
Yeah, not it's a boy, it's a girl, it's a Gundam. We're having a Gundam. My wife and I.
So Japan has a number of these like gigantic Gundam statues.
A number of them.
They do. They really do. But they've been working on one that actually moves. And they put it into testing mode this past week. And so there was this video that came up on Twitter of this thing moving. Like it's like propped up on its back, or not on its back, but it's like lifted up, and so its legs are moving like it's walking, but it's going nowhere and stuff. And then it's like kneeling down and all sorts of stuff. It's wild, because that thing is ginormous.
What do you think their end goal is once the Gundam can walk on its own?
World domination.
Because I'll tell you, I would listen to a Gundam. A Gundam looks like a leader. What I was picturing was a couple years from now, Gundam is in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. You've got Snoopy. You've got Pikachu. You've got Gundam.
I would be A-okay with that.
What if they could have like different celebrities in the cockpit piloting the Gundam? Just like whoever's on like the hot new NBC show, like Milo Ventimiglia is here as our Gundam pilot this year.
Here's what happened.
Milo.
So I saw this. I started posting about it on Twitter. I was like, oh man, this is so cool. Which is really ironic, because that is like the exact opposite of what the Gundam shows want you to think. They don't want you to be like, giant robot, cool. It's like, no, giant robot, bad. No. But I started posting about it, and then I had people like mentioning me in this, like, Kyle, did you see this?
Good.
And Melissa, I couldn't be more happy that like people are starting to recognize that I love Gundam, and they're just like, oh, Gundam, Kaya would like this thing. Hey, have you seen this? And Gino, who is one of our new hosts on Crossplay, he mentioned me. He was like, dude, did you see this? And I was like, yeah, dude, that was me piloting it. But I was just so happy. I was like, yes, people are realizing. They yes. Good
future
stuff.
Gundam pilot,
Right?
graphic designer, future Gundam pilot.
Exactly. Good stuff. Melissa.
Yes.
Looks like we have a correction to make.
We do. I last week we were talking about Zoolander, and then somehow we started talking about Paul Rudd also, and you asked me if Ben Stiller and Paul Rudd have ever been in a movie together, and I told you, well, Paul Rudd wasn't in the Night at the Museum franchise of films. And he was. Jack had to correct us.
Yeah.
So the plot of Night at the Museum is that Ben Stiller, well, his character Larry Daly, is a divorced dad down on his luck. He wants to he's been like an aspiring inventor, and it's not turning out well, and he needs like a legit job to kind of show his ex-wife that he's really trying, and that's why he gets this night watchman job at the Museum of Natural History, so on and so forth. Encounters a mummy and a tiny cowboy and Teddy Roosevelt and like a T-Rex skeleton. The whole cast of beloved characters. And I forgot that there is a scene where like he goes to his ex-wife's house to pick up his son, and Paul Rudd is there as like the new stepdad. And I was like, oh, right. I forgot about everything in that franchise that isn't at night or in a museum. If it takes place at somebody's apartment in the daytime, I blocked it right out.
That's funny. Let's see. There we go. Okay, hit the wrong button for a sec there. Yeah. So, I've seen the first Night at the Museum, but I don't know enough about them to have recognized that.
We watched them all last year. Just as I remember seeing these when I was younger. I think they were fun. I never saw the last one. How did this thing ever turn out? Because this is something we like to do. We'll just pick like a weird franchise and watch all of it. And we got 2 into Night at the Museum. Like we've been on...
As in your family?
No, me and Jack. It's a movie watching unit. I should bring this home to my family.
Let me share with you the wonder that is Night at the Museum.
They've seen the movies, but they haven't gone on YouTube and looked up AMVs about the tiny cowboy and the tiny Trojan
no.
set to like pop songs. There's a lot of them, Kyle, and there's people still making them. We're finding new ones. Like
people still make AMVs.
yes,
There's a
it's
thriving community out there.
It's so much fun. This is our favorite thing to do. I miss doing this in person. We just type in name of anything AMV into YouTube to see what we would get. We found a playlist of like 50 AMVs for the Daniel Craig James Bond and like the cute new Ben Whishaw Q. Like 50 of them. We'll see like
That's
the same
funny.
songs over and over again. It's a whole world out there. It's really delightful.
Gotcha.
You could type in like anything you like. There's
I
probably
only
a
remember
Gundam
the,
AMV about one Gundam and another Gundam.
I bet you could. I only remember the like anime ones. Like here's a Dragon Ball Z one, here's a Bleach one, here's a Naruto one. And I was just like, not my scene. Sorry, but thanks.
The anime isn't ours either. We're here for everything else.
Yeah. Melissa, we got some movie news.
We do. We got a whole chunk of Marvel news to cover this week.
We did. Before we get into that, though, you don't have a new Melissa's Cinema Corner.
Right, I don't. I've had a weird, busy week. I tried.
That's okay.
So Sunday night, we were recording. Monday night, I worked super late. Tuesday and Wednesday, more podcast recordings. Last night was my like one night off.
Wait,
and I just
Tuesday night.
Yeah, I'm recording a show with Jams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
They got a whole empire I'm running out here.
Right?
Last night was my like one free night, and I decided I wanted to like get ahead on like finishing Irredeemable and watching ahead on Hannibal. So I was doing homework. I did see Tenet though, the newest movie of them all.
You did, yeah.
Last week at the drive-in, which I talked about briefly on the review show, but I thought I'd provide the update here.
That's
I went to the drive-in. It was really fun.
That's good. Yeah, man, I'm jealous. I'm still not ready to go out there. But oh well. We'll
Find
see.
you a drive-in. They're very rad.
I did just did the mail thing for my mail-in ballot. So I applied to get that stuff. So I think I actually just got that today. They sent me something back, so I need to look and see what that actually is. But I did that thing.
Well, that's good.
There you go.
It's not Tenet, but it's more important.
Yeah. Only thing. So my update on stuff that I've watched. I finished season 1 of Star Wars Resistance. That's one of their more recent cartoons. It's set like just before and right at and I guess also during the first of the first movie in the new trilogy with Rey and Poe and all of them and stuff like that. So it's set in that time. Poe Dameron shows up in the cartoon every now and then.
Nice.
That was a weird one because it's all new characters. It's no one you know except for Poe Dameron, who shows up every now and then. But they couldn't have him in there consistently because they actually got Oscar Isaac to voice him. So it's like he'll show up every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, and just be like, good job, and then leave, you know. But I finished that. I finished watching Zeta Gundam. So up next is Double Zeta.
Oh my god!
I have to watch that. Yeah. Great. Good stuff.
Twice the Zeta that there was before.
Exactly. The big thing that I actually do want to like mention and actually talk about for a sec here. Deadwood. I started Deadwood.
Yes.
Started season 1 of that. It's really good. I started and finished season 1 all last weekend.
Whew.
I'm really enjoying it.
Nice.
And I started season 2 today, so I'm hoping to do all of season 2 this weekend.
I think now you're almost done because the show didn't last very long.
It's only 3 seasons.
Oh, 3. Okay.
Yeah. So and
The
they're
gentleman's
each
3.
10 episodes, so not that bad.
Okay.
But lots of swearing.
Yes.
I think I have heard the word cocksucker more times last weekend than I have ever heard in my entire life.
Okay, so this is what I knew about Deadwood. I think that was the only thing I knew about Deadwood, is that the the guy says cocksucker constantly.
It's not just the guy. It is the whole town.
Yeah, but it's like Al Swearengen's like personal trademark. That's why swear is in his name.
Yeah, he's a
So-
swear engine, as his name implies.
Swear engine.
But like,
You got a Hemi in that truck? Nah, I got a swear engine.
right?
You honk the car and it just says bastard.
So dumb. But yeah, like that was the thing, is like I knew there was a lot of cussing in this show.
Yeah.
I was expecting maybe a little more creativity.
Slightly more Shakespearean.
Right. Yeah, just like, yeah, good for nothing, yellow belly, cocksucking,
okay.
motherfucking, just like big long strings of them, right?
Yeah. Combo
instead,
hits.
yeah, where instead we just got cocksucker a million times.
We've got one. We bought a lot of stock in cocksucker industries. So I watched the pilot of Deadwood in a writing for TV class I took in college. And I wanted to, like, as I was taking notes, I wanted to keep tabs. Like, how many times do they say cocksucker? And it was only like 3 or 4 over the hour. And I'm like, oh, I was led to believe it would be way more than this.
But they mix in some fucks, some goddams and stuff. I think the second, or my favorite one that is not like a common one that they have used is fuck nut.
Fuck
They're just
nut.
like, listen here, you fuck nut. And I'm just like, yes, this is great.
It feels timeless. Someone could call someone a fuck nut today. 200 years from now, we may still have them.
Exactly.
Man, can you imagine our kids are going to invent future cusses we'll never hear?
Oh man, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. We'll be up in heaven looking down and be like, ooh, that was a good one. I liked that one. How come we didn't think of that? Right? Would have been great. Anyways, movie news, all of that stuff. WandaVision.
Yeah.
We got a new trailer for WandaVision.
Finally, because I gotta
What do you
tell
think
you,
of
I've
this?
been watching a lot of because this thing seems potent. It seems deep and lush with mythological capabilities and possibilities. So I've watched a lot of theory videos about WandaVision, and it's just the same segments of the one like 30-second preview we got months ago. So they're all burned into my head because it's all of the footage that these YouTubers have to show you. So like I'm going to be dying, and the last face I'm going to see is like Elizabeth Olsen. Because I've seen her. She's burned back there.
Yeah, I'm stoked. This is exactly what I was hoping for, because it has that like Leave It to Beaver 1950s sitcom kind of feel, but then like something is wrong. Something is really wrong, and there's this like underlying just like we know she's kind of not right in the head right now. So it's gonna be I mean the whole show is gonna be her like dealing with that and unraveling that and stuff. But there's a comic called The Vision by Tom King, and I highly recommend you guys go out, pick that up, and read that, because it's fantastic. But it's kind of the same thing. where they have this like normal life. It's him, his wife, his 2 kids. They are trying to live in suburbia, and just slowly but surely things start unraveling, and it's kind of like Breaking Bad, where they just keep digging themselves deeper and deeper into stuff, and I'm just like, this is a train wreck, and I just get to watch this, and it's amazing.
I like suburban train wrecks.
Yeah. Jack says that I hope WandaVision is similar to the Master Slave
Yes!
episode of Mr. Robot.
God, they're going to have an Alf. This is where I can get some more puppets in my life.
Yeah. I think they will, because we see a couple different styles of sitcoms too in there, right? We see the black and white. We do see some of the color.
The 2 kinds.
Right, the black and white and the color. And but like I the like colored one seemed more modern. It seemed to have more drama, more intensity to it. It seemed more like what you would see on like an HBO show or an or in AMC drama or something, right? So not necessarily sitcom all the time.
Yeah, I think it'll always have like a sitcom skin over it. Like the set's always going to look like a sitcom.
Yeah.
The trappings will be there, which is a style I dig. I'm always up for a deconstructed sitcom. I went to a local comedy show that was showing a bunch of these little comedy short films that people had made. And one of them was this video called Mom's Home. And it's like this sitcom, this goofy, silly sitcom world. But then one of the kids starts like hearing the laugh track. And he's talking to his brother like, you don't hear that?
Interesting.
And then the whole world like falls apart around him, and I think he like opens up a microwave or a cabinet or something, and he finds the camera in there, and he just like breaks everything, and he gets to the other side of the sitcom world. And I tried to find that thing on YouTube, and I never did. Like, I think it might have been screened once at a comedy show in a waffle restaurant, and nobody else has ever seen it.
That's funny. Yeah, like because it looks like she's also starting to do a lot with her like reality manipulating powers and stuff, of just like changing her, like it seems like this is all in her head, but we're not entirely sure.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering how that will then manifest outside of her own head, and what kind of aspects of reality she will be changing.
Yeah,
because there's another comic, House of M, where that the whole thing is that she has created this personal reality, or I guess not personal, but has made it so that everyone is perfectly happy in this thing, and then people kind of start realizing this stuff. Like, I don't need anything. I don't want anything. That's strange, right? And yeah, they start to realize that, and then they call her on the bullshit, and they're like, well, we got to do something. Like, we got to kill her or something. And she reacts by basically killing all of the mutants, except for like a handful of them. So
this is something else I've seen over and over again in WandaVision theory videos, just that same panel of her saying, no more mutants.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it 30 times.
Yeah. Which I don't think this is going to be them saying, like, bring in the mutants.
Yeah.
I've heard
mutants.
I've heard one or two people mention that. I'm just like, no, this is the stupidest thing ever. But I am left wondering of like how, like, what parts of reality is she going to mess with? I mean, they have an opportunity, I think, to kind of put Shuri in the Black Panther costume now that Chadwick Boseman is no longer with us. She has been Black Panther in the comics, so it has precedent. But that, like, it could be a way to kind of deal with that off screen.
Hey, I don't know if we're going to see
like,
any Black Panther repercussions for several years.
I don't know, because they were working on Black Panther 2. So
I know they were in the middle of writing it.
Yeah.
And I
have no idea. No idea.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that would be dealt with within Black Panther 2. Because I feel like that's such a serious thing to try and address as part of
I'm not
footnote,
saying
or like
that's what they would focus on.
Another Marvel title.
I'm not saying that's what they would focus on in WandaVision. No, that wouldn't make sense. But if she does manipulate things, and if that is one of the things to change, yeah, they can focus on that in Black Panther 2. But I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't.
Gonna do.
Yeah, and like there's.
And didn't they say that this was gonna connect to Doctor Strange?
Yes.
Too?
Yeah, I think this is an initial start. Like, this is where the dominoes get knocked over. Man. And I feel like it's going to set up things that we're not really going to see pay off for several years. Like, we might get a hint of mutant. Like, I don't think the doors are going to be completely open to mutants quite yet. We're going to get a trickle of mutant. There's going to be a draft of mutant. You're going to feel chilly, and you're going to look around saying, is there a draft in this house? And the draft is they let like a couple mutants in. And we're going to get most of them later. The advancement with the Black Panther storyline, like, that's going to come in like several years. I think right now they're like, okay, we got our spooky stuff. You know, we got our WandaVision. We got our Doctor Strange. Cosmic things, the Eternals, Shang-Chi, whatever him and his friends may bring to the table. That's Kung up for Fu. Next July now.
Yeah, he's gonna bring some street level Kung Fu action,
magic jewelry.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, so that is, I guess, also one of the Marvel movie news is that a bunch of their movies got pushed back deep into 2021. I'm opening up this article on comicbook.com. What do we got here?
Yep.
Black Widow will now release on May 7th, 2021. Eternals will release on November 5th, 2021. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings will release on July 9th, 2021. And then let's see here. The move does not seem to impact Marvel films scheduled for 2022 and beyond. The third Spider-Man film is a Sony film. Blah, blah, blah. Disney Plus recently pushed back Falcon and Winter Soldier to 2021, but promised WandaVision would be arriving on the streaming service in 2020.
Yeah.
I think that's all good stuff, since they've had to push back production.
Yeah, I know. It was sad. I went to buy a candle last weekend, and then this news dropped, and I'm like, this happened because you bought a candle. Because, like, I had to... like, I had to go to the store, and then I, like, pulled my mask down briefly just below my nose so that I could smell the candle and make sure I liked it. Exactly. Like, that's how I felt. That's how I felt for like the last week. I'm like, you got to start taking this seriously. You can't just go to stores and smell candles or stuff like this is going to happen.
Melissa, stop smelling things.
Yeah. This is what I get for trying to buy abstract candles. I just stick to like scents I recognize, like vanilla or apple spice, and not things like, amethyst.
Who knows? But then we got some potential news. It's a quote unquote quote report. So we don't know if it's true yet. But it seems like
report, yes.
Yeah, it seems like Samuel L. Jackson is wanting to spearhead a Nick Fury Disney Plus show, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would be up for that if it wasn't him. I want them to introduce like his kid, Nick Fury Jr. or something.
Mm-hmm.
And have him be more of a like a man in the chair kind of thing. Because he's in his in his 70s now. He's getting up there.
But maybe that's why he hasn't starred in a TV show before. Maybe he's like, I need this off my bucket list while I can still carry it.
Yeah, but he also wouldn't be doing a bunch of like stunts and action and stuff like that.
I don't need him to do stunts. You can be a guy in a chair.
They do have that
and
de-aging
hero
technology. I guess they do have that like de-aging thing.
Yeah, you can sprinkle that in for some flashbacks. This man has quite a history to tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he has to be an action hero to be the hero. He can move as much or as little as he wants.
You know what? I feel like they could do it with Samuel L. Jackson and some de-aging technology if they make it like the old Sean Connery James Bonds. And just make it that kind of spy movie where he's not the action star that like Mission Impossible Tom Cruise is.
Yeah.
But he's that like suave spy. That like
there's a whole episode where he plays poker. Plays whatever the Skrull version of poker is.
Right? Exactly. Like something like that, I think could work.
One thing that has me very excited about this possibility is that this Polygon article says this will be produced by one of the producers of Mr. Robot, Kyle Bradstreet. And to get some Mr. Robot
I thought you were about to say my name there for a bit, because my name is Kyle Bradley.
Oh, that's what it is. I would have put money on Benjamin. I knew your middle initial was B, and like I've wondered sometimes what it might be.
I'm a Bradley. Bradley Business Cheese. My middle name is Business.
Bradley's a solid middle name because whenever you hear it, it reminds people of the board game company Milton Bradley. So making anybody's middle name Bradley just makes him sound fun and upbeat and ready for a party.
I guess.
I don't know.
Never heard that one, but sure.
Like the board game. I mean, short of making your middle name Twister, Bradley's a good option.
Kyle Twister Springer.
Too many ers. Your name can only have one verb in it.
Yeah. And then, I don't know if we mentioned it, but the casting for, where did it go? For Kang the Conqueror?
Yeah,
did we mention
Kang!
that?
We haven't.
Let's see, where is it? Do I have it on here? Maybe it was a couple weeks ago. We must, because that was how we got to talking about Ant-Man and Paul Rudd and stuff. So we mentioned that, but today...
Oh, yeah, then we were talking about Galactus and his hat.
Right, yeah. Today, the Hollywood Reporter said that Aldous Hodge, who starred in City on the Hill and appeared in this year's remake of The Invisible Man, is in talks to play Hawkman in the Black Adam movie starring The Rock. I'm not familiar with this guy's work.
I'm not familiar with...
mentioned that he would love this.
Yeah. Now I gotta tell you, I'm not familiar with this actor or with Hawkman. Like, I've seen him around, but I can't tell you I don't even know his civilian name should he have one.
So there's a couple different versions. There are the Thanagarians, which they are
okay.
hawk
I know what a
people.
Thanagarian is. That I remember from Green Lantern, the animated series.
Yeah, that's one version of Hawkman.
Okay.
There's also another one where he is, he's like this like ancient Egyptian god that continually like reincarnates. And stuff like that. There's that one, which is, I'm assuming, the one that they are gonna go for, because Black Adam got his start also in ancient Egypt. So they might have some kind of connection there, but I think that would be neat. I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
Sam says, Kyle shoots and ladders Springer. That one works too.
Your middle name should have been Clue.
Kyle Clue Springer. Last bit of movie news that I want to mention is the Lupin the Third movie. I was asking about this, I think like a month ago, being like, did this already come out? Did this already happen? Apparently, it hasn't yet.
Okay.
And they released the first English dub teaser trailer for this. And oh man, it looks awesome.
Nice.
I
did watch it. This is a...
Yeah. They've released a number of trailers and stuff over the past year or so. And the artwork just looks incredible.
It's pretty.
Animation style is great. But yeah, this looks good.
Dynamic, bright, fun. I don't know very much about Lupin. I've seen Castle of Cagliostro before. But I know he's got quite a storied history beyond that.
Lupin. So I started watching some Lupin on Netflix, only to realize that wasn't the start of the series. And I guess you don't necessarily need to watch them all. I'm sure someone out there who knows being like, okay, these are the good starting points and stuff like that. I like to go from square one and all that stuff, which I think I found that stuff on Amazon Prime. So I think it's on there if people want to go watch it. But he's a thief. He's a gentleman thief, but it has that like James Bond espionage spy vibe to that with a more comedic approach. And I think it's going to be great. I'm so stoked.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Indeed.
Kyle.
Yes.
I have prepared a game for us to play tonight.
Oh, man. Okay.
So, I mentioned earlier, tomorrow is my roommate's birthday, and I asked her what she wanted to do, and she said, all I want is ice cream and movies. I want to go to Coldstone. So I was looking at the Coldstone website, which in hindsight, why? Like, I know what they have there. It's everything. Like, I just point to stuff, and they mix it together for me. But I was looking at the website, and they're like their recommended mix-in recipes all have really silly names.
Right, yeah. Cookie, don't you want some? I think is the only one that I remember.
Good. I'm glad that's the only one you remember because I've prepared a quiz.
Okay, good.
But first, I remember you ordering a considerable amount of Coldstone recently.
Earlier, I guess maybe end of last year, I was really craving ice cream and a milkshake and stuff like that. And there was nowhere to get me like only a milkshake and justify it that way. And so I was just like, well, go big or go home, right? So I got some from, I think, Postmates or Grubhub. I'm not sure. But yeah, I had to buy like $30 worth of ice cream. So it was like a giant milkshake, and then like a good like gallon size thing of some of their ice cream.
Gallon.
But yeah, it's not gallon.
A pint?
Sure, that
A
thing.
quart?
The like normal like giant cylinder thing that you can get in the store.
An Edie's of ice cream.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That's what I got.
Okay.
Which is more expensive than what you want to pay for ice cream, but I also know that this is like mixed with love, right?
It is mixed with love and with sharp
with
blades. What did you get?
My milkshake was, I think, just a cookies and cream milkshake, and the ice cream I got was mint chocolate chip with, I think, caramel and
interesting.
Well, no, it was mint chocolate chip with brownie pieces and caramel, I think, mixed
I don't think I've done mint and caramel before.
It might not have been caramel. Maybe it was just chocolate syrup. It was a long time ago.
Right, yeah. A lifetime ago. Okay,
Indeed.
so I prepared 4 questions.
Okay.
I have 2 lists of, these are 3 flavors that are real and 1 I made up. And then I have ones where there is 1 flavor that's real and then 3 I made up to fill them out. Okay. So Kyle, which of these flavors did I make up? Is it chocolate devotion, married to mint, cheesecake fantasy, or surrender to strawberry?
Okay. Can you read them off once more?
Chocolate devotion, married to mint, cheesecake fantasy, and surrender to strawberry.
Man, they're all like fantasy, surrender, devotion.
They're all Fabio words.
Surrender. Oh man. Sam says 2 of those sound made up. I'm gonna go with the. I want to go with chocolate because I don't think that was what their chocolate flavor was.
No, chocolate devotion is absolutely real. I made up married to mint.
Married to mint. I don't know.
My favorite is cheesecake fantasy.
That one I felt like that one was the right one. That one was.
That's like
that
when
one
I
makes
drew.
sense.
That's like when you daydream about a sexy pinup girl is a cheesecake fantasy.
I mean, hey.
Yeah.
I've had a few of those.
Okay. Kyle, which of these I'm going to give you, there's 1 of these is real and 3 of them are false, as you're going to be able to tell by what the names are.
Okay.
Does Coldstone Creamery have a flavor named Berry Good? Berry good. Berry good. Or berry good. With the last berry in all capital letters.
I'm gonna
How
go
many berries are good?
I'm gonna go with 2. Very good. I feel like that is like team of like marketing people around me. They would want to be like, we want to emphasize the berries, but we don't want so many that it's a mouthful to like say and do all that stuff. So double berries. Very good.
No, Kyle. They've got
I'm terrible
a
at this, man.
A triple crown of berries. Berry good. They want you to know for absolute certain that they do have strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries.
Oh, okay. That would make sense then.
They did not go
Gotcha.
for the 4th beetle, the blackberry.
That's racist.
Okay, Kyle. Which one of these is a flavor that I made up?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Doughtful? Dough for it. Don't stop believing, or don't you want some?
Which one is the one you made up?
One of these is false. 3 of them are real.
Okay. I know the don't you want some is real, because that's the cookie don't you want some.
Mm.
Can you read the other 3?
Don't stop believing. Dough for it. And Doughtful.
I feel like delightful is too bland.
Well, Doughtful is a part of a name of a real ice cream.
Man.
I should have been more specific. It was like Doughtful peanut butter or something like that. It was not 100% of the name, but it was there. Sorry, I'm fiddling with my phones because like somebody's playing a game in another Discord I'm in, and it keeps beeping at me.
Beep, beep, bop, boop. Beep, bop, boop.
Okay, whew, now I'm free. All right, final question, Kyle. One of these is real. 3 I made up. Does Coldstone Creamery have a flavor named Brownies Uploaded, Birthday Cake Remix, Fudge Friend Request, or #Hazelnut?
And you said only one of these is
Only
real?
one of these is real.
I'm going to go with Birthday Cake Remix.
That is the real one. Yeah.
Ha! I got it. I got one right.
I think that's
only
what I'm
one
going
that
to
I
get
got right.
tomorrow because I want sprinkles. I was looking at their pre-made concepts, their suggested mix-in combos.
Sure.
They have some of these come with just sugar crystals on them, which seems like a waste of a calorie.
I don't know. Sounds good to me.
Like it's ice cream and then there's I looked at it and I'm like, that doesn't even look like it's kind of like, those like big crispy like sugar sprinkles. It looks like just granulated sugar, maybe just slightly bigger.
Right? Like we're just going to pour some sugar on top of this,
in the name of love.
Right, yeah. I would try it.
I don't think that's what I'm going to get tomorrow. But you know what? When I go into the store, I'll take a look at the sugar crystals and tell you how big they are. Okay.
Report back this next week.
The picture on their website looks like just a pile of regular sugar, and I don't get it. One of their other toppings you can add is just frosting. Just white frosting.
I guess that would make sense.
It sounds pretty good. I don't know why we don't more often have just dollops of frosting in our ice cream. I appreciate their bravery. Gummy bears. Is that one have you ever mixed a gummy in an ice cream?
No. I know that they're available, but not for me. That seems like a weird combination. It's because I like both of them, right? But it's the combination of the texture that I feel like would be really weird. Yeah.
Like, sometimes when I go to Froyo, there's things that I don't want mixed into the ice cream. I just want, like, I'm not doing a whole cookie dough flavor profile here, but I want to try one of your cookie dough mounds. So let's dollop one on top and then just pick it off and eat it, and then mix my sundae together into a flavor profile. So I might do that if I was really hankering for, like, 3 gummy bears.
I gotcha. So I have to confess that I have kind of, I shouldn't say kind of is still stretching it. I've cut back a lot on the sweets that I'm eating, which I eat a lot because I have a huge sweet tooth. But I have a cavity right now. and I don't have dental insurance.
Oh, dear.
So I was trying to figure out if I could get dental insurance, and I technically could, but I have to call them during work hours, and I don't want to be on the phone doing all of that stuff. I hate talking to people on the phone, and it's dumb that you can't just go on their website and be like, I would like to add one dental insurance, please, and then
They have to hear if your teeth are good or not.
Yeah. I would like dental insurance, please. But I'm trying to cut back on the number of sweets. Because open enrollment is in like a month. So I'm hoping to just wait it out. Like if I don't eat sweets, if I make sure I brush my teeth like extra good, use some special mouthwash, all that stuff, like, can I last like 3 months and then just go in January, right? I think I can. But I'm also now hyper aware that I have a cavity, and I can feel it. Like, I can feel a hole in my tooth. It is that big.
Ugh.
And it's sharp.
Oh,
and food gets stuck up there. And stuff. So like I'm constantly like playing with it with my tongue.
Don't
to like
cut your
get the
tongue.
food out there.
That's your
it's not sharp enough to
podcasting tongue.
cut me. It's not sharp enough to cut me, but still, it's just like it's up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
I had
But it's starting to hurt.
Yeah. I had a cavity last year. And when you're a little kid, they make it sound like a cavity is like the worst thing you can do. Like you might as well go to hell.
Right?
Satan will poke you with his pitchfork. He's like, why'd you get a cavity? You know all the steps it takes to not get a cavity. And like I'm good about my teeth, and I've always gone to the dentist regularly. I have gone to the dentist twice a year since I was old enough to go to the dentist. Like, I take it seriously. I'm always there. I love my dentist. She's a dear friend. But
That's good.
I got a cavity last year, and like I didn't even feel it. My teeth felt fine, but they're doing the inspection, and they're like, oh, you have a cavity back there. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, are you free next month to come in and we can look at this? Like, they treat it like it's the scariest thing in the world when you're a kid, but when you're an adult, it's just like,
Tuesday.
Yeah. And I didn't understand what that was about. It's like, am I supposed to be, do I put on do I sit in the corner? Do I get it's the equivalent of a dunce cap, and it just says like cavity on it?
Well, so I was told, all right, so I guess the last time that I was officially at a dentist was when I lived out in Texas. I lived out in Texas for a year, and I was still on my parents' insurance. And I think that was the last year that I was still on that insurance. So they were just like, all right, we need to get you to the dentist now before you're off on your own and stuff. And I was like, all right, fine. And they told me that I have the start of a cavity. But it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. It doesn't look like it's growing fast or stuff like that. So they're like, you'll probably be fine for a while. But that was in like 2014. And then I finally like became aware of this thing, that it was back there like 2 weeks ago, maybe. But like, it's one of those weird things where like I never felt it before, and then all of a sudden one day it was just like, that's a giant hole in my tooth.
Yeah.
Wow. Where did that come from? Like, did I have a filling that I didn't know about? But yeah, so I've been like, no soda, which I cut out soda a long time ago at the start of the year, but each week I would get like candy bars and all sorts of stuff. And now I'm just like, I can't do that. I did test out a Diet Coke to be like, well, that has no sugar and stuff like that. We'll see how that goes. And that was fine. That didn't hurt. But man, I had a bag of Sour Patch Kids like a week ago. Did not go over well.
That seems like don't go for gummies. Gummies are rough.
Right, yeah.
Chocolates are gentle.
Yeah. But it's still just like pure sugar stuff. So I'm just as much as I can, just no really, really sugary things. Mm-hmm. So the like last sugary thing I had was waffles and maple syrup.
Oh, that's good.
So good stuff. It was chocolate chip waffles.
Nice.
Even better. So it was good. But that's the update with me. Yeah. That's all I got this week. Yeah. I for the past 2 weeks, I've had a question.
Oh, yes.
On the document here. We'll end with this because I thought of asking this question because they have finally announced the release dates and prices for the new Xbox and the new PlayStation. They're coming out at the end of this year, all of that stuff. Pre-orders went up this past week. It's been a nightmare. Have you ever camped outside of a store for some kind of product? A new movie, a CD, a PlayStation?
CD? No. I've done it for books and for movies in the theater, and that's it.
Gotcha.
I did midnight releases.
Is that just like a midnight showing or like a midnight book release, or is it like, I've been here since 3 a.m. yesterday?
No, I haven't done that.
Okay.
I do that lately, but just for the general concept of being in a store, just for that experience. I'm going to park here before it opens to like make sure I'm the first person in there when it's fresh and clean. But no, funny. I've just done midnight book releases I did it for, I think, the last 2 Harry Potter books and also the last Twilight book. Do you know people make fun of that series? I had a really fun night. It was just like really chill. There weren't many of us. We had the whole run of that Barnes and Noble. There were like cupcakes and we danced. It was a pretty fun night.
Good stuff. Yeah, I've not camped out, but I have done like the midnight book releases for Harry Potter and stuff like that back in the day. I've gone to midnight releases of movies back when they actually did midnight releases of new movies.
Yeah.
But I've had my dad go super, super early in the morning to wait in line. He waited in line to get me a Nintendo GameCube. And he thought he was gonna be like the 200th person in line. He got there, he was like number 3.
No, I just remembered I did camp out early to get a product. Ooh. I camped out early in front of the library to get Eclipse glasses.
I was like, what glasses?
We had the solar eclipse float over St. Louis, I think like 3 years ago. And you got to look at that thing special. You have to look at it with protection. Right. So they gave us these. It was this big deal to get Eclipse glasses, which basically look like 3D glasses, like cheap 3D glasses, or like those glasses that you can buy at like Walgreens around Christmas time, where you look at them, where you put them on, you look at the Christmas lights, and the Christmas lights like twinkle extra. Yeah. It's like those things, but there's some special coating on them that makes them eclipse safe or whatever.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really thinking about it because I was imagining that it would be like those silly Christmas light glasses. And when it came time for the eclipse, these would just be all over the place. So I wasn't thinking about like, oh, I need to buy mine as soon as possible. And then it was like, no, there's actually not very many of these. Like, you have to make sure you have them. This is a weird specific item. There's not a surplus. Like, if
That's
you don't
funny.
have these, you can't look at the eclipse.
That's
See,
funny.
my local library was giving some away, and I camped out there at like 6 a.m. so that I could get free pairs of eclipse glasses. They were free, a service to us from the St. Louis County Library.
Yeah.
And, so I had some. I think my mom had some. I got some for the friend I was going to watch the eclipse with. And I asked my dad, what are you going to do? And he said, oh, I've got a welding mask. He's like, that's,
that.
I
I don't know how well that works, but that makes sense. Like,
he said, like, yeah, like when you're looking at something you're welding, it's kind of like looking at the sun. And sometimes when I need a pick me up, I just imagine my dad standing alone in the backyard, because this was like right before my mom
that sounds like
retired,
something Night Vale would do.
Right, like he would have been home alone. This happened in the middle of the day. It was like 2 p.m. when we had this eclipse. So I just imagine my dad standing alone in the backyard, staring at the sky, wearing a full face welding mask.
The myth of the welder. If you spin around 3 times and say the welder backwards 4 times in the mirror, you'll see him one sunny afternoon looking up at the sun.
Appears, lifts the mask up, tells you a dumb joke, goes away.
Yeah, that's
I
funny.
have to go back to the garage. I'm working on something.
Good stuff. Well, yeah, because they released the PlayStation 5 pre-orders. They were like, and they will be available to pre-order tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
And then Walmart was just like, what about now? And then Best Buy was like, Walmart has them up. We have them up too. Buy them from us. And it was just a shit show. So it was a wild week in the world of video games and stuff like that. So good stuff. But I think that wraps us up for this week. A little bit of housekeeping.
Yeah.
We have multiple podcasts here at the Whatnauts, if you
We
guys did not
do.
know. Yeah. You guys can find all of that on our website, thewhatnauts.com, as well as your favorite podcasting platform of choice. If you guys like what we do, patreon.com/thewhatnauts is where you can support us. We finally filmed our Jackbox
Yes.
Party Pack Let's Play game night thing. So be on the lookout for that this next week. I have to get to editing that, but that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We played some Quiplash and some TKO and some Trivia Murder Party in there as well. So be on the lookout for that. We have all kinds of exclusive content as at our $3 tier, which is where you can get that one. And a big shout out to our Patreon supporters at the $5 tier. So thank you, Sam, who has been one of the lovely people hanging out with us in the chat here.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting us, Sam. We appreciate it a lot. I believe that's it for housekeeping, though. So, Melissa,
Yep.
where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT.
You can find me at Yo Kyle Springer on Twitter and Instagram. You can find our podcast as well as or just all of our podcasts at the Whatnauts on Twitter. Go like, share, subscribe. We are at 89 subscribers on YouTube. We
Slowly,
need
this
11
is working.
more. It is working slowly but surely, and
You
I
guys
will
gotta
not shut up.
subscribe to us for the Halloween month, because I'm gonna redo my lighting setup. I'm gonna be
it's
very
gonna be great.
spooky. I'm gonna have costumes and accessories.
I need to think about my costume if I want to add to my existing Jughead, because that was the plan, or if I want to go like classic Jughead and get the like older sweatshirt and
Jughead
the
classic.
right? Yeah, classic. But yeah,
Jughead in 01. Jughead, poor
version
Hom.
1. Well, there also is the Afterlife with Archie version in which he turns into a like werewolf zombie thing.
Oh, I didn't know werewolf was involved.
Oh yeah.
I thought that story was 100% zombie.
It might just be zombies. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I read that book. It's sitting on my bookshelf in the back here. But yeah, be on the lookout for all of that stuff. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us spread the word. Because we are so close, and I will not shut up about it until we surpass 100 subscribers. So
join us.
There we go. Join us indeed. But with that, this has been episode 113 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for checking out our podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you liked my lovely new camera as well here. It looks pretty sweet, if you ask me. In the meantime, though, go subscribe to our channel, which is right up here in this corner. Go watch one of our other videos, which is right down here in that corner. And leave a comment down below if you would watch a live-action Chuck E. Cheese film. Or if you think that would be a nightmare. Because I think that'd be a nightmare. Nightmare fuel. Ugh. Until next time, though.